lie down on your mat. Keep your knees bent and your feet firmly planted on the floor. And roll your shoulders or your palms up to the sky so that your shoulders widen, the chest opens. And as your body settles into this posture, close your eyes and start to take note of your breath. What I've noticed in teaching yoga is that, or teaching yoga asana, is that so many people come to the practice and they go right away into their practice without really thinking about what they're doing or why they're doing it. We all want to connect with something greater, and whether that's a purpose or a God or an essence. Yet how many of us really take the time to witness or to open to that essence, God, purpose? So as you lie here, yield to the flow of your breath, meaning you're not trying to control the breath or move it in any certain way. The breath is there, it's natural. So as you close your eyes and you and you release the muscles of your body, notice the natural flow of the breath. And it might take you a few practices before you become familiar with the flow of your breath. Before you become familiar with what is truly natural. What does it feel like to breathe without without effort? And simply watch the breath. And as we start to recognize the natural flow of the breath, we can then step into that flow. And there's a harmony. We're no longer working against life, we're working with life. But the first step is to yield. Or in Anusara yoga, we say to open to grace. Opening to that flow, the natural flow of the breath, the natural flow of life, the ever-present essence that is constantly there. And all we need to do is to open to it, and all the pieces start to fall into place. And be open, receptive. And bring your right knee into your chest. And staying receptive to that flow, just circle the leg around. See if you can completely abandon the effort in the leg. The leg is like spaghetti. And circle the other direction. So the arms are doing the work here. And then release the foot back down. And take your other knee, same thing, circling it around. And you can feel the weight of the leg. The leg is like a tired baby, just releasing into the nurturing hands of the mom, the nurturer. Your hands here, in the other direction. And then bring your foot back down. Bring your right knee back into your chest and stretch your left leg along the mat. Now bring a bit of effort into your bottom leg. Press it down, spread your toes, and just as you look towards your toes, make sure the toes are pointing straight up. And in order to do that, you'll you might have to turn your inner thigh down towards the floor. And then just for a moment, breathe and kind of listen in, making sure that you're not pushing the body in an unnatural way. And with your top leg, open it to the right. Inhale. And then exhale, cross it over to the left. Open your right arm. And then we're not going into a full twist, just a little twist. Your right hip will lift away from the floor. And then again, inhale, open the right hip. And exhale, pass the leg to the other side. Move your right hip away from your belly. Inhale, open your left arm, right knee to the right. Exhale, cross the leg over and open your chest to the right. One more time, inhaling, opening the hips. Exhaling, twisting and opening the back of the pelvis, sides of your waist long. Inhale back to center, and then place your foot on the floor, and bring your left knee into your chest. Now stretch your right leg out, spread your toes, flex your ankles, and press your right thigh to the floor. Breathe. And take this moment to pause and check in, making sure that you're serving the body and not trying to override the body. And then inhale, open your left hip to the left, right arm to the right. Exhale, cross the leg over and gently twist to the other side. Not a deep twist, we're not bringing the knee down to the floor, just crossing it over the body. Inhale over to the left. Exhale over to the right. Shoulders stay on the floor all the time. Inhale, knee to the left. Exhale, leg to the right. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist. Move the left hip away from the waist, keeping the left waist long. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, place your foot down on the floor and bring your right foot to the floor as well. Feel. The more we check into the flow of the breath, the more we can really respect that flow and move with it, work with it. Essentially working with life. Now roll to one side and come up to sitting. Take your feet as wide as your mat and lower your knees from left to right. And again, as you're turning, there might be areas of your body that are a bit tighter. And I'll invite you, as you meet those places that are tighter, to move like water. And so anytime that water encounters an obstacle, a rock in the river, it tends to move around it, right? It yields to it. So if you meet that rock of tension or even of pain, you can navigate your way around it. And it might take some trial and error. And then lower your knees to the left. And with your right hand, you're going to just invite your right hip up. So if you can see from behind, the right buttock is lifting away from the floor. And you're going to turn to the left and look to the back of your mat. Lengthen your spine and lift your chest. So I'll do it towards you guys. So you're lifting the chest up. At the same time, the tailbone lengthens downwards. So at no point in our practice do we want to hit a brick wall. No, there's always wiggle room. And then walk yourself back around to the front of your mat. And then change sides, knees to the left. Use your left hand to lift your left hip. So you're, again, inviting it up. And twist to the right. Inhale, draw the lower ribs in. Breathe into the back of your waist. And as you exhale, lengthen the tailbone down and lift your heart up to the back, facing the back of your mat. Notice as you leave that wiggle room available, how that allows you to tap into the deeper flow of the breath. You might even be able to deepen your breath. And then inhale, walk yourself back around. And take downward facing dog. Spread your fingers, wrist creases parallel to the front edge of your mat, and the hands about shoulder width apart. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up, if you're not already there, and pedal your feet out. So stretching the back of your legs. And we'll start to bring a little bit more dynamic movement into the body now that the flow of the breath is more accessible. Press your thighs back, stretch long from your heart down into your hands and from your heart up into your hips. Reach your heels down towards the floor. Even spread your toes as you press your fingers down. So all the parts of the body connected to this one life force. Bring your knees down. Inhale, hips forward and up through the heart. Exhale, press back, toes tucked under into child's pose. Again, shoulders back here. Inhale, lift your heart forward. I'm lifting away from my hips here. Exhale, press back. Inhale, forward. And exhale, back. Now, if you have back problems, injuries, herniated disc, you might just want to do a little bit of a cow facing pose here. And then exhale, instead of going all the way through to a modified cobra. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, press back. Let's do one more. Inhale, forward. Exhale, and sit back. Now come up and take your blocks. So you'll take one block behind you. And then you're gonna cross your left leg behind your right knee. Just make sure you have your strap available as well. You may need it. So the left knee is behind the right knee. We're going to Gomukhasana to further open the hips and touch a little bit of the shoulders. Sit back onto your block. Some of you may even be able to sit on the floor with your legs crossed. And if I face you, you'll see that the knees are stacked and the sitting bones are widening on the block or on the floor. So I can do without the block, but you might need the block to give you a bit more height. Make sure your back is nice and long. Another option for this is to place the foot on the floor. Okay, so that top foot can be on the floor or the knees stacked. Now, with your strap, take your strap in your left hand, raise it above your head, bend your elbow, and with your right arm, take your right hand forward, turn your thumb down, draw from your hand up into your upper back. So you're retracting the arm in and hold the strap. Lengthen through the spine. Walk your hands closer together. Some of you may be able to hold the hands, but make sure you're not just floating the hands. So hold the strap or hold your hands. I'll use this strap here. Now, before going deep into the pose, take a moment, breathe in Inflate the back of the body, the sides, the front. Keep the sides of your body long as you pull the hands away from one another energetically without losing the clasp. Widen the collarbones. And hug your shoulder blades onto the upper back. And then release. Second side, come forward. Change the cross of your legs, placing your right knee behind your left. So right knee behind the left. And then sit back. Again, do the same thing as you did on the other side. If you had your foot on the floor, place your foot on the floor. The lower back draws in and up to maintain proper spinal alignment. And take your strap in the right hand, lift your right arm up. It's important when we're playing with the spine or the joints, shoulders, knees, that we really are taking the time to listen to the body and not just go into the pose. So really listen to the body, make sure that there's always wiggle room, bend your elbows. You can also do the same thing as you did on the first side, turn your thumb down, draw it in from the hands into the upper back and bend. Before going in deeper into the pose, inhale. The inner body gets nice and bright. Sides of the body get long. And as you exhale, draw the head of the arm bones, the front of the shoulders back. Lift your chin, press down from the pelvis into the floor. And from the pelvis, reach up through the crown of your head, pulling the hands away from one another. Expanding the inner body. And then release. Place your props to the side. Gently come off of your block, uncross the legs, and take downward facing dog. Stretch. Exhale and bend your knees. Look forward, step or jump your feet in front, and then exhale to fold. Now, if you have a practice where your feet are together, you can do that. Make sure your big toes are touching and there's a space between your ankles. I will teach with the feet hip distance apart. I encourage you to try it with the feet hip distance apart. Micro bend your knees. This will give you more space in the back of the pelvis, and since we're opening the hips today, this might be a better option for you. The front of the ankles and the base of the second toes are creating a straight line, two straight lines that are parallel. So center of the ankle to the base of the second toe, those lines are parallel. And fold. Inhale to come up to standing, reach up, keeping your feet in the same alignment as when you were folded forward. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale, reach your arms up, going into sun salutations. Exhale, fold. When your hips stop folding, bend your knees. Inhale, lengthen forward, look forward. Fingertips to the floor or hands to your shins. Exhale, left leg back. We'll stay here, knee to the floor, bring your hands in. This time, turn your right foot out, your right thigh out, and start to rock side to side. Traditionally, we don't usually do all these rocking actions, but I find for the purpose of really finding the flow, sometimes it's good to experiment with different movements in our practice. And by experimenting different movements in the practice, we start to find maybe other avenues that we might not have noticed were there before. Sometimes life is calling us in certain directions, but because we're so fixed in our way of doing things, we neglect to recognize those other possibilities. And then come back to center, turn your foot forward, hand to the side, outside, and press back, downward dog. Inhale forward into plank and lower down to your belly. Cobra takes you up, inhale takes you up into cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward once again. Use your right hand to bring the heel underneath the knee, very important here. And keeping your knee down on the ground or lifting it up. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. So this might be a big jump for you to bring the knee up, or you can keep it down on the ground. The important thing is that you're really listening to your body and doing what works for you today. Engage your legs, inner thighs move back, and then the tailbone sits down. Lift your heart, lean back potentially. Exhale, Uttanasana, fingertips to the floor, and step your left foot forward. Fold. With the feet aligned, inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to heart. Second side, inhale, reach up. Urdhva Hastasana, exhale, Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana as you inhale, looking forward, heart forward. Exhale, right foot back. Turn your left toes and knee out to the side. Bring your left hand inside. And same thing, explore possibilities. Explore where is the flow of your body. What feels good here? Now, what feels good isn't always what is good for the body, as we know. But to explore different things can give us a better sign of what is actually good for the body. And come back to center, hand goes to the outside of the foot, downward dog. Inhale forward into plank, lower down to your belly, press your knees, your feet down. Inhale, lift your lower belly, cobra. Shoulders are back here, make sure you're not pushing the shoulders forward. Shoulders back, lift your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take your left foot forward between your hands. Use your left hand to bring your heel under the knee. Walk your right knee back. And with the knee down or lifting, inhale, raise your arms overhead. Notice the left knee is over the ankle. The shin bone is straight up and down. Lift the back thigh. Even if the knee is on the floor, lift the back thigh away from the floor and then scoop the tailbone down. Inhale, lift your chest, reach your arms up and back. Press firmly into your feet. And again, keep enough wiggle room in the body that you can really feel the flow of your breath and pulsate with that flow. Exhale, Uttanasana. Step your right foot forward and fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, hands touch the sky. Exhale, Samastitihi. From here, turn to face the right side of your mat, or the long edge of your mat. And turn your toes to the right, align heel to arch. Bend your right knee to a square for Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. The inner thighs spin in, so want that left inner thigh turning underneath. The hip creases deepen, and then lifting the lower belly, sit deeper. Lift your arms. Gaze over your right fingertips. The right knee tracks right on top of the ankle towards the third toe. Inhale and come back up. Change sides. Left toes to the left, right toes turn in. Align heel to arch. Left heel lines up with the center of your back arch. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, engaging the legs. Sit. Left buttock down. The left knee right on top of your ankle. So the shin bone is straight up and down. My arms are a little bit higher than my shoulders so that I can draw from the fingertips down into the upper back, connecting into the back of the heart. Legs draw up into the core of your pelvis. And as you exhale, press out, really respecting the flow of the body, the flow of the breath. Gaze over your left fingertips. Last breath. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, release your arms. Turn your feet to the first side. Right toes out, left toes in. Align heel to arch, grounding through the feet. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, bend your knee. Virabhadrasana 2. Top of the thighs move back, tailbone down. Now, this time take your left hand to the back thigh. Lift your right palm up. So the palm flips up to the sky. lean back. Now what I like to do here is create some space. So you create some space in your between your thigh and your waist. But before you create that space, pause for a moment just to see where you are right now. And then move the top of your right thigh deeper so it's moving down into its socket, and lift the right side up. Breathe into it so you're flooding it with breath. Tailbone down, sit deeper. And then as you exhale, bring your right forearm to your thigh, left arm, Parsvakonasana. Lengthen the tailbone. And feel that right side, there's still a lot of space in that right side. So we opened it, we maintain the opening as we fold to the right. If your practice takes if your normal practice, you have your fingers on the floor, you can also bring the fingers to the floor, behind the right ankle. Inhale to come up. Exhale, change sides. Warrior 2, inhale. Exhale, bend your left knee on top of the ankle. Make sure you're not passing the ankle. And then right hand to the right thigh. Inhale, revolve, warrior. Yeah. Again, create wiggle room in the hips first. Top of the thighs back. Find the length of your waist. Fill the inner body. And then with that flow, sit deeper. Lean back. Shoulders back. So my left thigh is moving away from my left belly. But as it moves away, it gets deeper into its socket, and it roots more into the foot roots more into the earth. And maintaining that space in the left body, reach up and over the left side. Bring your forearm down or fingertips to the floor. Right arm alongside your ear. And I can feel in my body that spaciousness that I created on the other side when I did the first side is still there in my right waist. The breath is full. And the feeling that I have in my body, which might be different than what you feel in your body, but I feel like I'm dancing with something. I'm moving with something because I opened up to that flow. I was receptive to that flow, and now I can move with it. And there's a sense of freedom, or that we're participating with something. There's a pulsation, I can say. Inhale and come back up. Exhale and release. Bring your feet together into Tadasana, and for a moment, yield. Say sometimes there's, talking about dance, we're dancing with our partner, the breath, the prana, the life force. And then there's moments where we just step back and we admire. We yield to it. So we surrender to it. We let it take the lead. Let our partner, let the breath lead the way. Open your eyes, take your block for Ardha Chandrasana. You may or may not need it, but it's nice to have it available. So take your block to the right side of your mat, feet wide. Turn your right toes out. Now, you want your block to be relatively further away, about a foot away from your foot, to the right. Inhale, lift your arms, and exhale, bend your right knee. It's not too extreme of a bend. And then you're going to step your left foot in. Inhale, lengthen the sides of the body. Yeah, so we kind of notice, where's our partner? Where's the breath? Where's that flow? And then fold. And then we dance with it. And then lift your left toes. My leg is super active. And as my left leg is lifting, I lift my right leg. And I'm going to move my block further so I can lengthen the right side of the body. Look down at the floor. Yeah. And tailbone draws in as lower ribs draw in, and then the heart open. You can turn the belly to the sky, and if you're familiar with this posture, and this is easy for you, you can bend your back knee and hold your left foot. We go into Chapasana. Inhale, lengthen the sides of your body. Both legs are firm. And as you exhale, melt the heart. And press your left foot away from your buttock if you're holding the foot. If you're in the first phase of the pose, keep lengthening through your legs. Head back, chin up. And come back to the first phase of the pose, extending the leg, drawing the lower ribs in. Look up, breathe, look down, bend your right knee, place your left foot gracefully on the floor, and come up. Or maybe not so gracefully. We do our best. And then other side. Block to the left. Take a wide stance. Inhale, arms up, bend your knee, exhale. And step in. You can step in as much as you need to bring your left hand down to the block. The hand is about a foot in front of your foot to the left. And then shift your weight onto your left leg. Pause. Yeah. And notice, what are the signs that your body's giving you? Find your breath. When we're with the breath, we can kind of maneuver into the pose. Lift your toes in the back and lift up through both legs. So right leg raises up, left knee starts to straighten. Turn your chest to the right, melt the heart. And then Chapasana, hold the right foot, heel to buttock. Inhale, sides of the body long. Exhale, keeping the legs firm, soften the heart, and open the heart. Open the front of the body. Right foot moves away from the belly. Turn your gaze up. See if you can do it without falling. Yeah, stay open to the little shakings of the body. It's also part of yielding. Let them be there. Hold center. And come back into the first phase, Ardha Chandrasana. Draw the low belly in, ribs in. Look up, perhaps. Again, balance is in the ear, so as soon as you start moving your head, that will challenge you. And look down. Place your foot down. Inhale. Come up. And then enjoying the benefits of the pose. Close your eyes or gaze at a point in front of you in Tadasana. Yummy. And then take downward facing dog. Bring your feet together. Lift the under part of your arms up so that your arm bones plug into the back of your heart. Again, all of these actions are flowing with the natural flow of grace, of prana. Again, you're not pushing the body in any way that is unnatural for the body. It might be unnatural for the mind. It might be new to us, but it's not unnatural for the body. Lift your right leg up, inhale. Exhale, bring your right knee forward into pigeon. So the right knee's to the right hand. Top of the foot in the front on the floor, and the back foot, the toes are tucked under. Now, if you have knee issues, do not do pigeon. So if you have knee problems or injuries or recent surgeries, you might want to do just the lunge pose that we did at the beginning. And you can take it further by lifting the back thigh up if you wish, if that's appropriate for you. So top of the foot down, right buttock draws back and under. Hips are square, parallel to the front edge of your mat. Lift your lower belly, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, from your pelvis, press out through your legs. Connect with your breath and make micro adjustments as your body begins to give you signs that micro adjustments are necessary. And want to be receptive to life, to the body, to the signs that the body gives us. Now you can stay here. If you're in your lunge, bring your back knee to the floor. Take your right hand in front of you and bend your back knee. Now make your leg really strong. Sometimes we get stuck in the back of the thigh. So make your leg really strong, engage your leg, and flex your ankle. Bring your heel to your buttock. Reach back with your left hand. You might need to look back. Point your toes and hold the outside of your foot. Inhale, lift the lower belly. Press your foot into your hands, drawing the left side of your belly forward. Move your right buttock down. Again, first feel. Notice where are you struggling in the body, if there is struggle. If there's struggle, yield to life. Move slightly out of the pose where you can find some wiggle room and comfort, and then with that, come back into the pose. Bring your heel towards your buttock as you draw the left belly in. Keeping the belly in, reach the tailbone down and extend up. Some of you can take your hand up. Some of you can switch your back hand to the inside of your foot and flip the hand. Flip the hand so that you're taking the C shape of your hand and bringing the back of your hand to the back of your foot. Okay. And then release. Take downward dog. So again, because we're feeling our way into the poses today are a little bit longer. Feel free always to come out of the pose. You might even have time to do 2 short poses, to come into it twice. That's fine. You have that time. Bring your feet together. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, left foot forward. So the knee comes down to the floor if you're doing the lunge variation. You can lift your back thigh, lengthen. Good. Pause. Hug your legs towards the center. And you'll see straight away if you engage your body and there's a resistance, there's almost like a sour taste in the body rejects what you're doing, then lay off a little bit. Lay off a little bit might mean that you need to take a few more breaths and then come back in, engage, turn your inner thighs up to the sky, reach your tailbone down, lift your belly, and then press out, forward and back through the legs. Now we'll take the pelvis closer to the floor. Bring your left hand in front. If you're in your lunge, bring your back knee to the floor. And with your back leg strong, bend your knee, heel to the buttock, look back, lift your right arm up and over, and grab the outside of your foot. And some of you might be inside of your foot is more accessible, but the shoulder opens, heart opens. Press your foot back. Press your foot back. Turn the right side of your belly forward. Again, inhale the sides of the body long. Fill the back of your waist. And then move your tailbone down as you hug your heel into your, towards your buttock. Again, if your hand's on the inside, you can then flip the hand, so holding the inside, then I just flip to the back of the hand, the ridge of the toes. And as you hug in, lift your left arm up and press out through the legs. Another option, if you're working at bringing the heel in, is to hold your foot with a strap. You can take the strap around the foot and do the same thing. If you feel like you have short arms, that's the excuse that everybody gives me. It's like, oh, my arms are too short. Your arms are not too short. Maybe a very few people, really. Few people have short arms. I have not met many. And take downward facing dog. Good. Step your feet forward and lie down on your back. So, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, bridge pose. Heels towards the buttocks. You don't have to squeeze them in, just walk them in. Again, I see that a lot, like people like squeezing their heels into their buttocks, like this. See heels to buttocks and they're squeezing their heels into their buttocks. And it's like, where does your body want to go naturally? Like if I walk my feet in, that's pretty much where they land. And then I squeeze them and they're like touching my buttocks, but then my knees are suffering. So again, we want to pay attention. Where is life? Where does my body naturally go? And it goes there. And the feet parallel. And bend your elbows. Now inhale, press firmly into the feet and lift your hips up. And the hips will come between the hands. They're going in that direction. Walk your shoulder blades, your shoulders underneath without overstretching the neck. Lift your chin, press your head down, and from the upper palate extend out through the legs and back down into your feet. And as I'm reaching through my tailbone, my inner thighs are hugging towards one another. So I'm maintaining the alignment of where my body naturally wants to be from the beginning. So what I establish at the beginning, I maintain it all the way to the end. And release. Second time, feet are parallel. Inner thighs move down, and inhale, lift the outer thighs up. Walk your shoulders underneath without squishing them too much together. Lift your chin and lift up. Now you can take your arms underneath you and interlace your fingers. But if your shoulders automatically pop off of the floor when you do that, then don't do it. Keep the opening of the chest. Keep the shoulders down. And walk your elbows closer together, and maybe your hands will touch. If they don't force them to touch. Work the opening of the chest. Work getting more breath in without too much effort. Press down into your feet, lift your hips higher, and then release. Enjoy your breath. Enjoy witnessing the movement of sensation in the body. And then bend your elbows third time. So we'll do this a few times. Engage your legs, keeping your feet parallel. Inhale, lift your hips up. Now, in my body, I feel like my legs want to widen. I often see this that often people, their legs will widen. So it's important to keep hugging the ankles and the shins in. Widen the back of the pelvis so you're not clenching, like squeezing your butt so much. You're hugging the butt, toning the buttock muscles and lifting. Deepen your breath. The more effortful the pose, the deeper the breath. Interlace your fingers if you are doing that today. Press the top of the shoulders back. So you should feel in the upper body like you're trying to, like as if you had a backpack on your back and you're trying to slide the backpack off without touching the straps with your hand. So the shoulders move back and down. Lift your chest. Lift your chin, and then release. Good. Now I'll do it one more time. This time we'll do Urdhva Dhanurasana, so the full wheel. And or Urdhva Dhanurasana literally translates as upward facing bow pose. So you'll place your hands just behind your shoulders. And the fingers are pointing towards your body, towards your shoulders. Now you walk your feet in where they naturally come. And exhale to soften the shoulders down, so the arm bones plug into their sockets. And just pause. Now you might not be going up into the full wheel, but we'll go up in steps and you'll stop where you stop. Inhale, lift your pelvis up. So we're in our bridge pose. And walk your shoulder blades closer together. Lift your chin. Inhale the sides of the body long, so I'm still listening in to the body. Exhale. Inhale, press into your legs, press into your hands, and you're gonna lift up onto the crown of your head. So I'm looking back at the back of my mat. Now don't try to go halfway, don't rest on the back of your head. Stay on your shoulders or come up to the crown of your head. On the crown of your head, stay on the crown of your head, press your hands in, plug your arms into your upper back. Squeeze your shin bones in, and then inhale, press your heart towards the back of your mat. Lift your chest up. You may need to walk your feet in. Press your hands down, claw the mat with your fingers, and keep pumping your chest towards the space between your elbows. And then chin to chest to come back down. And then rest. Keep your feet on the floor. Impulse sometimes to bring the knees to the chest, so we'll resist that impulse for a moment. That's one of the times where we feel that something will feel good, but it actually does more damage than good. So keep your feet on the floor, back is neutral. Think more of lengthening the spine if you need anything. Lengthen, breathe. Now to bring balance to that sensation of wanting to bring the knees to the chest, bring your right knee in, hold the back of your thigh. Instead of hugging your leg in, press your thigh out. Press your foot out as if you're trying to stamp your footprint on the wall in front of you. Left leg presses to the floor. Lengthen your spine. So we want to always, when we're doing full back extensions, to come back to neutral. Neutralize the spine before going into extreme flexion. That's healthier for the back and for the muscles of the back that just went into an extreme movement. They do not need to go into the opposite direction straight away. That actually weakens the muscle. And it's like going, and then, I like sound effects. It's like going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Eventually it just wears and tears the muscle. Good. And you can straighten your leg here. Keep pressing your thighs away from you. So the left thigh is pressing down, the right thigh is pressing forward into the hands and down into its socket. The back of the body is neutral. Now from here, lengthen your spine and exhale, draw the lower belly in. So now the back is going to flatten and lift your chest up. Reach your left hand towards your left toes and your right hand towards your right toes. Keep moving your thighs away from you. And come back down. Bend your knee and take the other leg in. Right thigh to the floor, press your thigh away from you. Footprint on the wall. Inhale, sides of the body long. Exhale, straighten your leg if you wish to go there. Keep the left waist long. And your left buttock will turn in towards your right thigh. Don't turn your foot, just your buttock. So it's the hip, it's the pelvis that's aligning. Your top leg may not be straight. It might be bent, but you'll probably still feel a stretch. You can also just do it with your knee bent. The intention here is not necessarily to stretch the back of the legs, but to neutralize the spine. Then reaching for your toes, inhale, exhale, lift the pubic bone towards your belly button and come up using your core muscles. You'll notice in the back is not completely round, but it is rounding. Breathe. And then release back down. Now, if you wish, you can bring your knees closer in. I suggest circling a little bit around the sacrum, the triangular bone in the back of the pelvis, and circle the other direction. So, again, easing into things. Again, sometimes there's tension. We don't know that there's tension, and we plow through the body, and we plow through tension, trying to get rid of it, but all we do is cause more tension. Now inhale, press your knees away from you, lengthen your spine, and then easefully, listening to your body, bring your knees closer in. And there's a sweetness when we really let the body lead the way. Let the body tell you where to go, where not to go. And bring your feet back down. Cross your right ankle on top of the left thigh. Flex your foot, flare your toes, and then doing the action of bending your right knee, so just the action, as if you're pretending to bend it, but you don't want to show anybody. And then keep that as you bring your left leg in. Thread your right arm between your thighs and hug your left thigh in. You can lean a little bit to the left. Another option is to hold the front of your shin. It's a deeper option. And here you can use your right elbow to move your right thigh away. So I turn towards you guys. So you're here. Toes are flared. Right knee is doing the action of bending. So you're strengthening the knee joint and opening the hip joint. You can also hold the front of your shin. The back will round here, let it round. Lower back, head stays on the floor. And then change sides. Flare your left toes. Let's do it this way. So left knee bent. Flare your toes, flex your ankle. Especially the fourth and fifth toes. So that will support the outer knee. You want to feel the outer foot drawing towards the outer knee. Do the action of bending your left knee as you bring your right thigh in. As you bring your right thigh in, listen, feel the left hip. Use your left elbow or forearm on your thigh to widen the leg away from your belly. You can lean here a little bit to the right. Keep the engagement of the top leg, so left leg, as you hug your right leg in. Let the back round, lower back round, if that's what it's doing already. And then release. Take your feet the width of your mat, open your arms. Inhale, sides of the body long. And moving with the exhale, lower your knees to the left. So the feet stay wide and turn your head to the right. The inner right thigh turns in. So there's these mechanisms, these energetic flows, circuits that, I would say currents, energetic currents in the body that move the body in certain ways. And with our daily habits, we are shifting those currents of energy. And sometimes in a good way, sometimes in not so good of a way. So with the practice of yoga, we want to, when we say realign, we're not only realigning the physical body, but we're realigning those currents. And when the currents are aligned, so they're flowing as they naturally should, then the body is getting its kind of proper dose of prana. Inhale to center. Exhale, other side. So feet as wide as your mat, lower your knees to the right. Spin your left inner thigh underneath you more, so your left buttock widens up towards the ceiling, and turn your head to the left. Soften the back of the body. Soften the front of your ribs. Don't push the ribs down. As you exhale, feel how the ribs naturally move in. And yield to that. Yield to the muscle softening. Yield to the release of the body. Yield is almost like, it's like we're giving in to the release. Like giving into relaxation. Isn't that like a strange kind of thing that we have to learn how to give into relaxation? I don't know, I find that funny. But it's so true. Inhale and come back to center. Exhale, happy baby pose. Bring your, widen your knees, feet together. Your arms are inside your knees. And then holding with your hands in front of your ankles, hold the outer feet or simply reach for your ankles. So ankles or outer feet. And then you're going to split the feet and bring your knees down. Lengthen the spine and press your feet gently up into your hands. You should feel a bit of a resistance in the hips, but not so much that blocks the hips. Again, keeping some wiggle room. When I think of yield, I think of those yield signs on the road. Where it says like, we gotta yield the way to the traffic. So if you think of that, on a main highway, that traffic is, your natural pranic flow, the natural life flow of the body. So we're waiting, we're watching and we're looking for our in. We're looking for our moment where we can get into that flow. And then bring your feet together. Take a final stretch in your own way. And stretch your legs out for Shavasana. I'm just going to turn around. And take your feet as wide as your sticky mat. Your arms gently away from your body so that your armpits are not squeezing in, but there's a receptiveness and even an openness in them. Lift your chin away from your chest and make any other adjustments that you need to be comfortable. Feel free, if your lower back is sensitive, to place a blanket. We didn't use the blanket. Place the blanket underneath the knees. So the blanket in the practice, you can use it instead of the block. I forgot to mention that today, but that's okay. You'll know for next time. Relax the face by softening the muscles in the forehead and around the eyes. Let your eyes become heavy. Let the tongue rest on the palate of the mouth. And the hinge of the jaw releases. Soften the shoulders and the hips, the arms and your legs, and feel the natural wave of the breath moving across the torso. Yield to the sensations of the body. Yield to the breath as you let the natural flow of your breath take over your body. So once again, you're not controlling it. You're watching it. Just like you would watch anything else. As if you're watching a TV show, as if you're watching your children play, you're watching your breath move. And that yielding is a natural kind of settling into that flow. So when we yield, when we let the body be, when we let the breath be, we let grace be present. We allow life to be. We ourselves are not separate from that, but when we yield to it, we're essentially becoming one with it. A bit of a paradox. So rest in being, rest in that flow of grace. And then start to deepen your breath. Move your fingers, your toes, and hug your knees gently to your chest. Roll, when you're ready, roll to your right side. Of course, at home, you can feel free to do Shavasana for a longer period of time, really letting your body melt into the yielding process. And if it's the end of your practice, then you can sit up. Bring your hands together in front of your heart with your eyes closed. May we be more receptive to the natural flow of life. May we give way to it. May we let life be our teacher. And may we benefit from the fruits. May we recognize, actually, the fruits that life has to offer us. Truly becoming one with life in that process. And we'll close our practice with one sound of Om, unifying our voice with the flow of grace, the flow of life. Inhale your breath. Namaste.